if to me, of course, logically, I definitely want you to call the suicide hotline. It's just call the operator if you're like, I don't know the number or I don't have the capacity to even, dial the number. Call 311, dial 0 and say, hey, connect me to the suicide hotline. I just really need to talk to someone. Because the great thing about it is that the suicide hotline is confidential, and it's a safe place to start to talk about the thoughts, because it doesn't always necessarily mean you need to go to the hospital. Like, it may be like, okay, I can talk to this person. I can get this feeling of shame or frustration or anxiety or depression out for the moment. I can create a safety plan, right? Because sometimes it's suicidal thoughts with a plan and sometimes it's without a plan. And, depending on the level of where you're at, they can really dictate, hey, we should really get you to a hospital. Let's stay on the line. I'm going to send EMT, to you so that we can get you to a safe place where you can be analyzed and assessed, not analyzed, assessed. And that's where you would see me in the trauma room. It's like, I'm the person that then does that assessment. And it doesn't always mean that you're going to go inpatient. A lot of the times, I would say maybe roughly 60% of the time, I'm not giving the okay for a psychiatric evaluation and inpatient. A lot of the times I'm saying, do you have a therapist? Like, who are you releasing everything that you're carrying to? And it's like, let me get you this list of resources of therapists that you can contact. If you're definitely for our Black community, we don't do well with having a primary doctor, but you can go to your primary doctor, like just to start. Like, hey, I'm feeling anxious, I'm feeling depressed. I know you're not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but since I have you as a contact, let me start here by going in my chart and saying I'm feeling these things, because at least you can get a referral and a connection to whomever they're affiliated with in their hospital affiliation. So that's another good first step. I would say another great first step is just Google Psychology Today, therapyforblackgirls.com, Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health if you're in Chicago. There are some Slay, StopLovingAffirmYou.com. Like, we are organizations that exist that have connections to counselors, and we are here and available to guide you through that process. And you are not alone. And I think that's the biggest piece of it, is people that feel like they are at the place where suicide is the only option feel like they're alone, and they're going to be judged for those thoughts and feelings of shame, because as the Bible says, we were created to know no shame. So it is the hardest thing to survive through something you feel ashamed of, because God never created us to be able to carry shame. We shouldn't have known it. So it is something, and this is in my thesis, my dissertation, that the world has created shame, right? That started in the Garden of Eden when, they were eating the apple and it was like, oh, I did what God told me not to do. I'm ashamed. He never created them to feel that and know how to function through that. So when I don't have the spiritual foundation naturally, because God has instilled it in me to be able to deal with it, I then turn to earthly things to fulfill it. Drugs, alcohol, sex, food. Like, that's why fasting ends up being so important, because you get to strip away shame in a spiritual and physical sense, in my opinion, when you fast. So I know that was a lot of like, what can you do? You can do all these things. But those are, so if I could break it down in like 3 points: suicide hotline, primary care physician, Google a therapist, call your insurance provider and say, hey, who do you see in my network that is accepting new patients, new clients, and connect me to them. Top 3 things to do.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more content, subscribe over here and watch the next video over there. God bless you.